Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Here we are. It's the John Peckman Podcast. I'm John Peckman coming to you from the podcast studio of Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance, beautiful downtown Portland, Connecticut. Come over the bridge, start looking left. We are here today with... I got to get my timing right. See all that dead air? I need a professional to advise me. Mr. Rob DeRosa is here. He's here. Rob DeRosa has been running the Homegrown Show. Is that how you say it? The Homegrown Show on WESU over in Middletown for how many years?
18.
All local music. All.
100%.
Nothing but. For 18 years. A tireless task, endless task.
But it's a passion more than a task.
Yeah, man. Well, we're lucky we have you. We're lucky somebody's doing it, right?
Well, there are others, but I'm glad I'm doing it for sure.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I'm glad you're doing it. So how did you, you want to talk about the show first and then your life, or do you want to just start from the very beginning?
Well, the show, I could start there since you introduced me as the show.
Oh, yeah.
I was running a cafe, which I still do on the Wesleyan campus.
Okay.
And the radio station is upstairs from that. So, naturally, they all came in from time to time, and I got to talking to them over the year. And by the end of the year, I asked the program director, what do you do to get on the radio? She says, well, right now we're looking for something that would be music and public interest.
Hey.
And I said, well, that's what I have. And like 3 weeks later, I was on the air because it was spring and they were getting ready to close up and turn over. The students were all going home.
Right.
And so I got barely any training, dropped into a studio.
And you never did anything like that before?
No.
Wow.
No.
That's awesome.
But it was, so I plodded my way through the first few shows,
Sure.
A couple of friends and my parents listened, and that was about it, I think. I like to think that.
That's only people that are watching us right now.
But it was drive time, and I learned something much more than that I have thousands of people just because it's drive time.
Right. So you got to get your act together pretty quick.
Yeah, and so, now I like to say, audience of thousands, but some of them it's by accident.
Well, that's okay. Hey, whatever.
Yeah.
As long as you keep them.
Yeah.
If it was terrible, they would be like, I'm never listening to this again.
Right.
So
like my wife does.
Unless they're all every day is a different thousands of people, which I doubt.
I doubt it because,
No,
it's people driving home.
Yeah.
People driving home.
That's great. Hey, that's cool. So the drive time slot forever.
Yeah. I started out on Tuesday, and then they moved me to Thursdays, which I've remained for about 16 of the 18 years.
Wow.
And the only thing that changed is I went from an hour to an hour and a half.
Oh.
About 3 years ago.
That's good, though,
Oh,
right?
it's much better, yeah. I found myself, because the show gradually went to playing. In the beginning, I played songs that I liked because I didn't know anything better. I started out my first song, No Good to Cry.
Oh, perfect.
Because that said Connecticut music to me. And so, it was going on from there. I just played stuff from my collection, and which is large. It's grown much larger since I've done the show. And but then as time went on, I said, well, these bands are playing out, and I think that I would like to play songs by bands that have a gig that next week.
Right.
And then say they're playing at Toads or they're playing at Cafe 9 or wherever they're playing. And so then it developed into a lot of homework for me because I have to see who's playing every week.
Right.
So it's a week-long thing. I plan it all week.
Wow.
And then by Wednesday, I know what I'm doing.
Did you ever, when you first did it, did you know right off the bat it was just going to be local?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
Absolutely.
So you're like, if I'm doing this, I'm going to showcase.
Because that's the most major part of my record collection.
Oh, wow.
I have about 3,000 Connecticut CDs on my wall.
Wow, that's great.
And then a bunch of records from before that.
Sure. So. Wow. That's wild. Yeah. Wow, that's cool. I didn't know that. So you weren't just looking for the slot. You just
I wanted to do Connecticut music, and that's what I was looking to do from the start.
Wow, that's cool. So it worked out exactly.
It did.
Yeah. That's really cool. Wow. So who were what year would this 18 years ago? I'm not good at math.
2003 or 2.
Yeah. Something like 2. That. Right?
And I've seen a lot of good Wesleyan bands come through there.
Yeah,
right.
As
a matter of fact, MGMT.
Yep, sure.
I was the first DJ ever to play them on the air anywhere in the world.
That's cool. Mm-hmm. And they just came to you and said, "Hey."
No, I badgered them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they were really popular on campus, and the keyboard player was our cashier at the cafe.
Oh, wow.
And so every day I would say to them, "Where's your music? We don't have a CD. We don't have anything. We don't have anything." Because they used to play. They used to use a a Walkman.
Sure.
And then an iPod rather, and plug it in with the backing tracks and sing over that, and that was their show.
Whoa.
And the guitar player would wang away, and the keyboard, but they had the backing tracks on that, and so he didn't have one. So finally, they hand burned me a CD, which was some of the songs survived to go on, and be on their records, and some did not. And then years later, they contacted me if I could please make them a copy because they knew there were songs on there they wanted to crib again, and they didn't have any. So,
whoa! So you were the source
at that time, yeah. Wow, I gave them their first club date, Cafe 9.
Oh, wow.
Opening for the Manchurians.
Oh, wow.
And Paul, they came up and they gave him, he said, "Okay, well, what do you got?" And he said, "This." And they gave him the iPhone.
Yeah.
And he plugged it in. He couldn't believe
that's wild.
That it was, I can't believe these guys are doing it like this. And then, 6 months later, he was saying, "We had MGMT."
Yeah, everyone wants to take credit. Yeah.
And then their first festival, which they played all the major festivals, was the Daffodil Festival.
Wow.
Yeah. If you go on YouTube now and search MGM management, because that's what they were called then, and it's in MGMT, it'll come up. Daffodil Festival. There's been over 1 million views.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, that's really cool.
It was.
Do they take your calls still?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
All right. So
if they come around, I get passes and all that stuff.
I would hope so.
Oh, I sit with their parents, but but that's all right too.
Wow. That's why I did not know that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Wow.
It was a lot of fun to be around them.
Oh, yeah?
They exploded afterwards, So
to
go when they were, I went to Bonnaroo with my son to see them.
Oh, wow.
And it was wild.
Yeah, right.
We were backstage with Bruce Springsteen and his kids.
Wow.
Drew Barrymore dancing with me, I say.
Nice.
But she was dancing with some actor.
She was dancing with the world. You were just in.
I was there. But
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow. That's exciting.
It's a lot of fun, and you meet in all these different bands. And over the years now, they send me music. Now I don't have to beg so much anymore, although I still do with some because the young kids, they just, we got the files out. And you have to say, "Well, send me one so I can put it on the radio." Oh, all right. And then, and then you get them.
Right.
But, I had about 5 people today sent me music.
Wow, that's cool.
So it was,
So you're the dude.
Well, I don't know about the dude because they have the local band show on with Rick Allison, and they've been on for 37 years.
Yeah, right. Well,
and that's the touchdown of local music.
Well, you're one of the dudes.
One of the dudes.
Put it that way.
I'm in the gang anyway.
Yeah. No. Hey, that's great. Yeah. No, that's really cool. Yeah. MGMT. Who else is that? That's kind of the biggest story.
The biggest story that broke out of there for as far as me playing them. But I mean, I've had. Studio guests, Aztec Two-Step and all the major Connecticut influences over time just because I hired them for Daffodil and then I say, "Okay, come in.
Yeah, come do the show.
Come do the radio,
Yeah. So where'd you grow up? Did you grow up in Meriden?
In Meriden, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, cool.
I lived there all my life except for, some time in Amsterdam and some time in Florida.
Okay, cool. Wow, that's why. Yeah, I grew up in Wallingford. I just moved out of Meriden, in November.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
don't look back.
hey, whatever. No comment. Yeah, Berlin. I don't know. It's cool.
Yeah,
it's cool. So talk about your involvement with the Daffodil Fest and this is in Meriden, Connecticut, which is a couple towns away.
Yep. And I got a call one day that the committee wanted to bring in Gary Burr.
Yep.
And he's an old friend of mine. We went to grammar school and right through, together. And they knew that I was always in contact with him. And they said, "We can't get in contact. He's not answering." And, they really wanted to do it. And so I contacted Gary and he said, "Well, I'll do it if you run the show."
Whoa.
And so they let me run that one band shell show, the headliner.
Yeah.
And so I got in with Gary in the limo. He took him to the country music station. We did all the promo and that was it. I didn't get a T-shirt. I didn't ride in a golf cart that first year. I was like the extra guy. Nobody really trusted me.
They said, "Oh, Gary, he's Gary's guy."
Yeah. And then the next year, the guy took a sabbatical, and they asked me to come on and fill in for a year. And they were out of big money to have a major headliner, and so I started right then doing all local music. And it was lovely.
There you go again. So you're just like, I got this.
So we had like 25 local acts in the first weekend that I was on the committee.
Wow.
And after that, we got money to do big acts. You know, like we had Elvin Bishop, we had all the NRBQ,
Sure.
we had all my favorites. You know, I got to book them, so I was doing it.
The Hooters.
Yep. Well, that was bicentennial, but that was wonderful because Robbie Hyman is from Meriden.
Chuck Berry,
was bicentennial. Yeah, it was me.
Wow.
I booked the bicentennial week too. Yeah.
Imagine that.
That was fun because we had a theme for that. You know, Monday was Flag Day, and so we had the Coast Guard band, and then Tuesday I had country music, and Wednesday it was oldies, and then Thursday we didn't have anything because there was a big party up on the castle.
Okay,
but then it was Chuck Berry and then the Hooters.
Wow.
Oh, and that was
I forgot those were on the same weekend.
Yeah,
that's heavy.
Friday and a Saturday and a Sunday.
Wow,
that's spectacular.
Wild. Yeah, I didn't. I had a gig. I knew all about it, but I was never.
It was really fun.
I don't think I saw it. I didn't see NRBQ. I didn't see anybody.
Well, you were always playing.
I was always
those
playing.
Times. You know, you were playing. What can you do? A lot of it's always on a weekend.
I know.
And you probably didn't see Graham Parker or Roger McGuinn either.
No, I did not.
Yeah,
I did not. I mean, I've played it a few times with James Velvet.
Yeah. And you played in the park anyway. You played there with 8 to Bar.
Sure. Yeah.
You know. That's a great stage. The band show.
Oh yeah,
it's a lovely
it's really
stage.
Cool. I just saw Christine Ullman's going to be here next week. Yeah. And I saw her when she was there like a month ago.
I was at the top of the hill. I was a little anxious to go down into the crowd that day, but it was fun.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
yeah, definitely.
Christine is great.
Oh yeah, no, she's gonna be here next week, so that'll be fun. Yeah.
She was my first rock and roll crush in Connecticut.
Yeah, sure.
You know, we had a youth club at the YMCA, and I went to Cheshire Academy with her brother Vic.
Okay.
And so he said, "Well, I have a band, and we were having dances. I have a band.
Yeah,
it's called Wrong Black Bag."
Oh wow.
And I said, "Sure, let's hear it." And then Christine walked in, and gorgeous, long blonde hair,
sure.
and she was just regal, and she knew she had presence.
Yeah.
And she sang like, they did
sure.
all the covers then, of course, but Jefferson Airplane.
Yeah. She's doing it up.
Yeah, it was great. Now she's herself, she's
right.
She's
Yeah,
really an individual now.
Oh, no doubt.
Sure.
No doubt. No, that's for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize you had that history. Yeah, because Vic was my number one. He was my drum teacher. He was the one that got me involved in anything.
Yeah, Vic.
He's like the root of the whole everything for me. Was Vic? It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
So, are you a musician at all?
No.
No.
My friends had a band when we were young, and I got a guitar, and I just wanted to be able to wang right away. I didn't want to practice. I wanted to, I didn't want to get blisters. I wanted to be, a rock guy right away. And so I lost interest in a hurry. So I became like their roadie, and I did their posters.
Yeah.
And, and that, we hung around. We got to see all the bands then because they had a manager with a van and a PA system. So he would take us to like the Trapezoid Club in North Haven. And
I don't know.
Bill Miller's Barn, all these teen clubs.
Yeah.
And so we got to, they opened for like the Blue Beats and the Shags, which once we saw them, that was my first concert ever, was the Birds at the Oakdale, and the Blue Beats and the Shags opened.
Oh, I see.
2 Wallingford bands.
Right.
It blew our minds that they're from Wallingford. And hey, we're from Meriden. You guys have a band. You could do this too.
Yeah.
And that was what sparked my Connecticut interest right there.
Wow, that's
my first
cool.
concert.
You just said, you were like,
I said, Connecticut guys can do this too?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess because everybody has to come from somewhere, right? And that's what I always maintain now.
Apparently.
The talent in Connecticut is as good as talent that's out there worldwide.
I think so.
And
I got to be honest.
Just, they're just not out there worldwide yet.
Right. I think so.
Tons of it.
I mean, I've been, I don't know, maybe my opinion, I have no idea, but I mean, I've played with plenty of people around here that are as good as anyone that I could imagine with my
You've had
ears.
a couple on your podcast already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like,
so that is something. I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe it matters where you're from, but maybe not as much as we think.
No.
I
think, and then you want to wonder, is it every state just as rich in talent?
Yeah,
and I don't know. I have to think that there's some that aren't.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that would be interesting to know. I don't know. I mean, being half from Pittsburgh, like Pittsburgh everybody's a good singer there. There's like a lot of good singers in Pittsburgh. It's weird. I don't know what it is about them. It's in the water.
Soul singers, or are they?
Yeah, soul singers. Yeah. Yeah, my uncle is a really good soul singer. That's kind of their thing. I don't know why. But so tell us about so growing up in Meriden, just seeing bands around at Oakdale, this and that.
Because Oakdale's so close.
Sure.
We would walk the train tracks.
Yeah, right.
And walk down, we
really?
walk right to the back of the Oakdale.
Oh, that's wild.
And see people in the tent.
So that's how you would get to Wallingford.
Cream. I saw Cream there, and I saw all those. Oh, it was incredible years.
That's
in those
wild.
days. Yeah.
Growing up in Wallingford, being younger, but I always used to hear, oh, Christ, Led Zeppelin played up there. You could hear them all over town. They were so loud. And then they said, oh, the Who played up there. You could hear them. Or the Doors played up there. And I never believed any of it until you get older. Then you just look it up, and you're like, oh, yeah, no, Led Zeppelin played there. Like Led Zeppelin was in my hometown. Yeah. The Who played
I missed
there.
Led Zeppelin. I was at Woodstock.
It was same weekend?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What was Woodstock like?
It was wonderful for a 16-year-old kid.
Yeah. Oh, God.
I took my father's brand new station wagon. He thought I was going to Woodstock, Connecticut.
Oh, boy.
And
you didn't bother to straighten him out.
No,
said,
he went away for the weekend with some friends to Cape Cod and left me with the station wagon. And then, he
saw you on the news naked, freaking out.
Within 5 hours of getting there, it was up to the wheel hubs in mud.
Oof.
But it didn't matter. We parked 11 miles away and hitchhiked our way in because the residents were just given rides.
Yeah.
And it was a wonderful experience.
Who was playing when you made the scene, when you got up? Who did you first hear?
It was Saturday morning. So it was early in Saturday. We saw, we saw them all. We saw Creedence Clearwater Revival. We saw Janis Joplin. We saw the Grateful Dead play there. We saw Joe Cocker. I was so close to the stage for Joe Cocker that I had to look straight up. Now when you see the movies of him, the camera goes like to about the third row back of me, so I'm out of the movie.
Oh, wow. So you're like too close for
the close-up. Too close for the close-up, yeah. Yeah, that's a story of my life. But,
how long did it take you to get to the front?
Well, you could walk to the side.
Oh, okay.
And then you walk down along. I kept mobile the whole time I was there.
Wow.
I lost the guy that I was with. And then we got...
He had a cell phone, right?
Yeah,
you just
cell phone, right. The payphones weren't even working.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But how'd you get out of there?
Well, I actually got deeper. I went in on Sunday morning. I went out and I lied to the cop that was at the gate. I said, we're supposed to be inside, and I'm in my father's car. I got outside the gate somehow. We're staying at a cabin. I had looked at a name of a cabin thing.
Sure.
I said, he's going to kill me. This is a brand new car. And the guy goes, all right, kid, go in. He moved the sawhorse. And now I'm inside the gates, like kind of. I ended up about 100 yards behind the stage by following somebody through a cornfield road. And then when it rained on Sunday, before, Hendrix came on, we got in the car. That's all.
Wow. Yeah. Did you know when you were there that like this is history?
You couldn't call it history. You knew it was something amazing because it was people as far as you could see, and and as a 16-year-old, people in all mentions of undress.
Sure.
So that was like as exciting as the music for a 16-year-old. I'm walking around. How could this be? How are these? Everybody's naked. Everybody's painted up. It was amazing.
Wow. That's wild. Yeah. And how soon did you realize after that, like, this was the event of ever?
And within days. It was all over the paper. You came home, and my parents had the papers there with all the
Does your dad still
pictures.
know? Did he still think you were in Woodstock?
No, he knew right away. He knew pretty quick.
You were at that hippie thing.
Yeah, he knew. Until the day he died.
Because you came home naked
and covered in mud. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's exciting.
Yeah, it was fun.
Wow.
It was fun.
Woodstock. Nothing got bigger than that.
Watkins Glen had more people.
But
it wasn't
somehow culturally.
It was much different culturally. It was just a big concert. It was what it was. But it was not. It wasn't what Woodstock was.
Crazy.
Woodstock had all the the arts and crafts, and it had the woods around it, and it just was way different.
Yeah. Were you at Watkins Glen?
Yes.
Oh boy. Imagine that.
Yes, I was there too.
Wow. Different.
Yeah, way different, but fun. Okay. We were more prepared. We had our friend's father's camper van, and we had tents.
How long
food.
After was it? A
couple of years.
Okay.
Maybe 1 year or a year and a half or so, yeah.
So by then you're like a veteran.
And we knew what we had to bring, you know.
Yep.
And
that's cool.
yeah.
Wow, that's wild. And then you weren't at Altamont.
No, thank goodness, no, not at Altamont.
Okay, that's cool. Wow, that's
can't hit them all, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're like, sorry, I can't be at every historical thing. You know. All right, so you had no radio experience.
No,
at all.
Just the desire to go on there.
You had. How long did you have the desire before you had the opportunity?
You know, I would listen to the local band show, and I used to hang around because I was in Meriden, and you could go up to the castle, and they had those radio towers up there, and for a couple of years, WHCN broadcast from there. It actually was broadcasting. They couldn't lock the doors because the DJs were all hippies, and they would forget their keys and have to go all the way down the mountain and go home if they were going to forget their keys. So they left it open. We would skip school in the daytime and sit in there while they ran their tapes because they had the big giant reel tapes in the day, and then at night it would be live DJs.
Wow, I never knew that.
So we would kind of organize the records that were all over the floor and pick up a little bit.
So you were like the little elves, the little hippie elves that straighten everything out.
And then, you know, they'd come in and they'd let us stay.
Hey, that's cool.
Kind of hang around. So it was
so
fun
you got
to
a
hang
feel
out
for
there.
it.
Yeah, I just realized it was a lot of fun, you know. And
were you like, I could probably do this?
I thought I probably couldn't.
Oh,
but I would like to try. You know?
And then you got your chance.
Yeah, and then I got my chance, and then I found out it was actually easier than you think.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool.
You know, once you learn the board, I push buttons wrong still, but you know that's okay.
That's all right.
I always just blame it. I say it's homegrown. What do you want?
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, I hear you. No, that's cool. So how involved are you with Cafe 9 still? Are you?
No. I was never really involved with Cafe 9 other than to be a fan of it.
Okay.
My good buddy Frank Gratelli is very involved. He tends bar and he runs the Sunday Buzz.
Sure.
You know, along with his other. He also does that old church concert series, which Christine Playing in the Park was part of that, summer part of that.
Yep.
And Gary Burr is going to do the next one on August 26th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He's coming back from Nashville to do that.
Wow, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Gary Burr. Tell us, I know who he is, but...
Well, he's a Meriden guy, and he learned how to play guitar when he broke his leg playing soccer. He was laid up in bed for 6 months.
Sure.
And he used to play to Carole King, Tapestry record, and to the Beatles. And then he started writing his own songs. He was in a lot of bands in Connecticut. And then he wrote a hit record while he was pushing his kid on a swing in Meriden. He sold a song to Juice Newton, Love's Been a Little Bit Hard on Me.
Right.
And he never turned back since. He's since moved to Nashville, and he has about 35 35 top 40 Nashville songs, but 18 number ones.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
you know, and he sang with Ringo Starr and wrote with him.
That's right.
Toured with Carole King, fronted Pure Prairie League.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's with Laurel Canyon, which is a Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young cover band, but they're finally getting back out there and playing gigs.
Right.
And so he's going to come up in between gigs and do this one.
So from Meriden to the universe.
Yeah. I mean, he's a member of the Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame. He's known everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, he's written with just about everybody you can imagine.
Yeah. Well, and then we have Al Anderson from up north.
They wrote songs together too, but Alice, he's a champion to me. You know,
me too.
Like the Wild Weeds, when I was young, we would go Lyman Hall High School parking lot, and they would play a block dance, and you got to see him then.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. And so, you know, I followed him all along since. He's playing the Cape coming up.
Oh, yeah, right.
With
Jim and the crew.
Yeah, and they have 2 nights. And once it sells out, I have a feeling they will do what they did last time and do a Sunday show at Cafe.
Yeah, that's what I hear too.
Yeah. Well, and that's lovely if they do that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I went to the last one there. I didn't make it to the Cape, but I certainly was in Cafe 9. It was a riveting show.
Yeah.
Al doesn't play a lot of bars anymore.
No,
he doesn't drink, and he
right.
you know, for a long time he thought it was like too much, temptation. But
I guess
he got in there, and he was saying, "I like this bar stuff now."
Yeah, right.
Well, it was that room is small, and when you have Al Anderson, the power of that with Jim Chapdelaine as second guitarist.
Crazy. Yeah,
I mean,
it's crazy.
That's 2 guitars, like.
Yeah. You're not gonna see anything like that.
No. And then you got Lorne.
Yeah, he's going to be on in a few before the end of the month. I forget what day. Yeah.
Oh, he's great and producer, drummer, songwriter, singer. I mean, the guy does everything.
Yeah, it's pretty monstrous that band.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. You probably heard the story, but yeah, Jim pals around with Al. I guess they knew each other from way back. Yeah. And I was playing a bar gig with Jim, and up on the Berlin Turnpike, there was a pool hall up on the pike. Not there anymore. Actually, it's near where I live now. And Jim's just like, I just want to tell you, Al's here. He's going to play the gig with us tonight. I'm like, oh, no. Like, I was so excited.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, he was very low-key. The gig was pretty low-key. Actually, it was a Dancing with Henry reunion. Do you remember?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So there were kind of people there. So it wasn't just like a nothing bar gig. But once they got wind that it was Al playing with us, then the requests just started coming in.
God, yeah.
And we played like every NRBQ song that we could figure out. And also, we did No Good to Cry, too. So I was just like, oh, here we go.
Oh, it wasn't that a thrill? To
was
play with him, it's got to be one of your favorite memories of that kind of
yes,
stuff, you know?
Absolutely.
And you've played with a ton of people, but I don't know.
That's a big one.
Yeah, I think it's huge. It's huge.
For me, it was, the sound man, I have 2 songs on cassette. Sound man rolled tape. At the end, he's like, I know you're a big fan here, you know.
Wow.
I'm like, whoa. Yeah. This was pre-cell phone. You know, so there was no record of it at all.
Uh-huh.
But, I got Riding in My Car and Get Rhythm. I have on tape somewhere with me on drums. And, of course, I played it note for note. And as weird as I am, not even note for recorded note from live version. You know, like, because I know the way they, you know, I don't even know if he noticed. But
Have you heard what he did for on that Joey Spapanato record, the Party for Joey?
No.
Oh, Al has a track on there. All kinds of famous people in there giving it for his, his medical expenses.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, I haven't heard that. Yeah,
I have it in my bag. I'll let you listen.
Okay.
To it.
Yeah.
And I'll lend it to you.
Yeah. I did one other show with Al. It was like a Shinolas. I played with Danny Korchmar and Shinolas. We did a double bill at Bridge Street, and at the end we had a big,
with Eddie Irusso on pedal steel too.
Yeah, and everybody was there. You know, Al was there.
Wow.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, that was a thrill. That was a big deal. But yeah, you probably already. I tell the same story. See, now I'm starting to repeat the same stories, and you already know them. But I'm, too young to have known all of that the first time around. But I had a sister 9 years older than me who went to Southern when NRBQ was huge.
So you had her records.
I had all the records.
Right.
And I didn't, like when you're at the age that I grew up, you got whatever washed ashore. You just got what you got.
Right.
It was like.
But you were lucky to have that wash ashore.
Oh, yeah, I really was.
From following the Wild Weeds early, and then I went to all the incarnations of NRBQ right through, because Al was nice in the Wild Weeds, then he got surly for a while, and he'll admit that, and then now he's nice again. So the whole circle of Al Anderson.
Yeah. She had Yankee Stadium and Kick Me Hard.
Kick Me Hard
too, and I was just like, okay, and
on vinyl too,
Oh yeah. So luckily, at least for me, because again, I didn't know any better, so whatever records I had, I would try to play drums to. And so he was Tom Arlino. I just thought, well, this is the way it's supposed to be. So I learned to play like him, not knowing.
And plus, I think learning from NRBQ, they have so many different time signatures and different things that you got to learn all different styles within their music, because they didn't just play one way. Mm-hmm. They swung, and then they would rock.
Yep, that's 100% true. Yeah. I couldn't have gotten a better education. And that sort of, whatever they don't have a sort, but whatever that chunk of music is.
And then one day get to see him live too. So that's a good thing, because if you had Beatles records, you were out of the gate for that.
They were the first. I remember I counted down the days. Like it was like probably the week I turned 21. They were playing at the Sting in New Britain, and I was just like, here I go, because I needed to see it.
Yeah.
And I was like, finally, I'm going to see that. Because there's no YouTube.
Nope.
And I went and just like, wow, okay.
That was a nice big stage for them to play.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah. Really cool. But yeah, still one of my favorite bands of all time, ever. Me too. That'll never change.
No.
Cool.
Do you like the new incarnation?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I think like everybody, I didn't get on it right away.
Yeah, me too. Same thing. You had to realized that it just wasn't Al. But Connecticut people have a propriety with Al Anderson.
Right.
So, you always think that that's the best version, and really,
Right. Well, you know what I think? I think that's true. I gave up expectations, and after enough time with the new band goes by and I hear enough things, I just go, it is what it is. It's a different thing, and it's good. I don't know if it's as good as or not as good as, but when you put the expectations aside, and I guess it was probably a few winters ago, but there's like a box set of that they put together. I think maybe Terry or somebody put it together. It was a High Noon or whatever, 4 CDs, and there was a lot of rarities and classics and stuff. But the first disc was all the new band, because he just was like, if you're a nerd like me and you're going to listen in order, he's going to make you. And by the time I got done with that first disc, I was like, you know what, this is great. So, and then you get the early version, and then you get the primetime version, and then you get the. So I was like, all right, I'm in. Yeah. I can get with it.
It's a great body of work, no matter how you look at it.
No matter how you look.
When we had him at Daffodil, it was lovely because Tommy was the drummer.
Yep.
He wasn't feeling that great, and we basically dedicated a golf cart to whatever he wanted to do.
Oh yeah,
wherever he wanted to go.
Sure.
We had a driver for him because, but
yeah,
he was very, very good drumming. That's for
yeah,
sure.
No, he's one of my favorites. Yeah. One in my top 3. Like when people ask me favorite drummers, he's in top 3. That's it. That's all there is to it.
Well.
So. And always will be, as far as I'm concerned. That's not going to change. So, you all right? Dave switches something.
And we come from people say drummers are hard to get, but Connecticut has a ton of good drummers.
Yeah.
You got Tommy Smith plays in like 5 acts.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
There's a lot of good drummers.
Yeah, there are a lot of good drummers around here. That's for sure. So the show has no signs of stopping, slowing?
No, not really.
You're going to go forever?
Yep.
Is there more new music now? Is it the same as always?
No, this was a very prolific. The pandemic has been very, very prolific. People who were locked up were, kind of making a lot more music.
So all of a sudden.
One band even formed. They were friends, and because of the lockdown, they got locked down in the same shoreside house in Connecticut.
Oh, wow.
And they formed a new band.
Oh, wow.
And now they have their record release coming out
that's
next
cool.
week at 10 Selden. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, that's something.
They have 2 other bands that they're both in.
Yeah, right.
This is like the 3rd band.
So they're just like, all right, let's just do this.
They had no choice. They had to play music, so they made new music.
Right.
They wrote some new songs.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of your other well, I was thinking about it, but it's not fair to say like favorites because you can't.
Well, favorite Connecticut acts?
Yeah.
It is hard, but like there's so many right now out there that are really, really doing well.
Mm-hmm.
You can't help but say, like, you have Jake Kulak, a young blues guitar player, doing fabulous. I don't know if you know Bart Bryant.
Yeah, oh yeah, I know Bart.
His new record has Bill Holloman on it.
Oh yeah, I know Bill.
And Bill did a whole horn section on every song. And
he's crazy.
You'd think it was the Asbury Juke horns on there, and it makes this record it's just brand new, and it is unbelievable.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't.
And there's just so much that keeps coming out. And Max Creek, 50 years this year.
Yeah, imagine.
I mean, and that's Bill Carbone. He was teaching at Wesleyan. He's the drummer in that, and he's a great drummer. He plays in the Z3. He's also very. He moved back from New York to Connecticut again.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, although he's still working
with
Little Steven, so I think you should,
Yeah, because
I have a wealth of stories.
Oh, yeah, I know Bill. Yeah. I didn't know he was back up here.
Yeah, he's living down on Madison, I think.
Okay, well, that's cool. Yeah, well, maybe we'll get that. And then you saw the Rich Dart show. That's like a whole other world.
Yeah.
Like this guy's been around the world playing drums.
Yeah, I know.
A completely different scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you see that. And you say, well, there's a guy from Connecticut.
Right.
He's out there. He chose that path instead of sticking around and just playing around here. He stuck his neck out,
sure,
if you will. And unbelievable.
Yeah. It happens.
Yeah.
It definitely can happen.
It does.
Cool.
And, you're glad when you see it happen like that because, you want to see that your old friends now are out there making some big time things. I worked with Roger C. Reel for years and years and years. And just this past year, during the pandemic, he recorded a record with Steve Cropper.
Yeah, right.
I mean, and it's a great record.
Brendan was talking about that.
It was a #1 blues for a while and in the top 40 of rock for a few weeks. So, it's like, whoa, what do you know?
Yeah.
And anything can happen. They have gigs coming up in the fall. They're going to play in Nashville.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's what when we had Brendan here. It's like Connecticut. You grow up thinking there's nothing happening, and then you're like, no, there's enough happening because we're connecting the dots.
Right. And Brendan's
connect the
band
dots
is
on your
happening,
show.
too. I don't know if you've seen them live. But
No.
They are hot to try.
I will.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
Very entertaining.
That'll happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is all part of it. We're all connecting all these dots.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. What's next?
What's next? We go back to work at Wesleyan coming up. I got a show in a couple of days
Wow.
to do. I have my list at home. I think I have to pare it down.
Mm-hmm.
You can only fit about 22 songs if I don't run my mouth too much.
Oh, right.
And I happen, some days I just do. I tell this guy's doing this and this band's doing this. And
Yeah.
You know,
next thing you know.
And next thing I know, I say, oh, geez, I have 4 songs with fitting 3.
Yeah, right. Well, you have to do a 2-hour show.
Yeah,
then it went
yeah.
up to an hour and a half. That's funny.
Well,
That's cool.
so,
Does anybody else? Are you like the big shot over there? The
no,
local show?
no. We have so many good shows, and it's like there's 100 and something different DJs because.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's 24 hours. Although in the daytime it's a little NPR, but when the students come back, they go all night.
Oh,
and,
wow.
So
that's cool.
It's there's other shows that I think I might be one of the longest right now.
Mm.
Although the guy that does the Italian show, I think, is longer than me, 20-something years.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
The Italian
Franco.
show.
Yeah. He does it at a time so that it's a Saturday night there.
Oh, boy.
And people love it. Because
What
he
does he
plays all
play?
the Italian pop music.
Oh, wow.
He speaks all in Italian.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Every now and then he drops an English word in, because he doesn't know the Italian word for a slang.
Yeah,
or
right.
something, But it's
So
quite
there's
funny.
enough of a community.
Yeah.
Wow.
All over the world he gets listeners.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, I get it. Okay. So this isn't just where the antenna reaches.
No, because it's now you
Nowadays.
can stream it at wesufm.org.
That's
It's a
cool.
live web stream.
So that helps you.
It does. And my friends in Australia can listen. It's the next day, but they
Right.
listen sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's kind of cool.
But I do have regulars, that tell me every week, I heard this, I heard that, and people actually. What I like is if someone calls up and says, 3 songs ago. Can you give me that name again?
Yeah,
because
yeah,
now my car is not running and I want to write
Ah.
it down and I want to buy that music. And that really makes me feel good that if
Wow.
they're buying the music of a local person. I think that's, if that's what I can accomplish by having people say, gee, I really like that. I'm going to go out and see them live
Sure.
and buy a T-shirt or
Mission accomplished.
maybe buy a record. And then that's what it means,
That's
because
fantastic.
it's not just to say, gee, they were on the radio. You want
Right.
to try to make the circle go around and have somebody
Right.
really appreciate them.
Well, good. Well, you know what it's like being a music lover. When you hear something that really hits you, you'll pull over.
Oh yeah, I've
You
called
know-
a lot of DJs in my
Right.
life.
Right. So that's really cool because as you know, like when it gets you, you're in,
Yeah,
and you're turning people on to stuff that they would not have run across.
right.
Maybe.
Well, for sure, because I try to play all the genres that come in. I don't stick
Yeah.
with just one. And
Is
I
that
play
right?
from all over the state because I want to represent, bands in Norwich and bands in
I see.
Waterbury or wherever, Torrington.
Wow. That's cool.
Mm.
What part of the state is popping right now?
It's hard to say that.
Yeah.
Like in the summer, New London is usually hopping.
Mm-hmm.
New Haven has got a real vibrant scene right now. There's
Okay.
a lot of new music coming out, and like 3 or 4 small studios down there
Yeah, right.
that are really going.
That's cool. So you'll play any style, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. Unless
Yeah.
it's I can't, because it's drive time. There can't be any cursing,
Right.
but that's fine.
Yeah.
And I've happily never cursed on the air either myself. So I'm happy to say that.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
usually I have a mouth like a sailor.
Sure, me too. Yeah,
And,
you have no idea the restraint I'm exercising at this exact
me,
moment.
At me as well. And, I think, in fact, my wife said, don't swear. And I said, well, do I ever swear? She goes, no, but I'm just telling you, it's later at night now.
Yeah, right. That's okay. We have posts, like, I don't know if you
Sure.
saw last week, my guest swore, and we're like, okay, now that it's going to be one day later because poor Dave has to go in and find and do a little bit of post. Otherwise, this goes.
You knew your
goes
cousin
up.
was going to swear.
Oh, yeah.
You couldn't help it.
He was so uptight all day. He's like, I know and then he did. Like,
But he did a good interview. I thought it was
oh,
nice.
yeah. Oh, he's a trip, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah, he's really funny. He's one of the, there must be bands like this. Like, all right, I have to be careful how I say this, but sometimes people like that, like my cousin, they're my favorite kind of people because it's like not a humongous chunk of talent. Like some people are born with like a huge chunk of talent. But he's got something, and I've seen over the years, the more that he does it, he actually improves. Like just because if it's there, and that's what I do as a teacher too. It's like you get kids and they have something, but the longer and the more you do it, it starts to slowly emerge. That's why, like, I always think of like the Ramones. I love the Ramones, and at first they're barely getting through. They have a really cool concept, but they're barely getting through it. But by the end, one of the best
they had it.
rock and roll bands, and just because they don't have a gigantic chunk of talent, but by doing it, it gets refined and tougher and better, and all of a sudden you're like,
they were a smooth running machine at the end.
That's right.
They certainly were.
One of the best live bands ever. I mean, they were great in the beginning, but you know what I don't know if
they were different at the end. They were but more slick, and so but it didn't take away from their intensity one bit.
Right. I guess what I'm saying is more interesting for me to see somebody with not as much raw talent refine it into something beautiful than someone with so much talent that they can't even harness it.
Yeah.
I kind of like it when it does that. So anyway, but yeah, how many times have you? I never saw the Ramones. I never got a chance to. I was always playing. How many?
6 or 8, I think.
Yeah,
at least.
I can imagine.
We used to go to CBGB's. We would go.
Yeah, sure.
CBGB's opened a theater, and we went to that. Even it was minute you went into the men's room, it was already ankle deep, because they had to turn around and walk out. And the pipes were breaking. You didn't know if it was the pipes or if it was the people.
Yeah.
But it was, and no heat.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. But CBGB's, you'd see the Ramones there. It was way different. Than seeing them, on a big stage.
I bet. Yeah. Yeah. Well,
tiny little joint.
Well, we were lucky to have them at Toads. That wasn't too far. That was kind of, they played there pretty early on.
They did, when Toads still had the pole in the middle of the stage, so that was real early on.
Imagine that.
Yeah. They played in Connecticut right in 1978, I think, for the first time.
Yeah, right.
So it was, they played at the Oxford Ale House, not Oxford Ale House, that place on Whaley Avenue.
The Keg House or whatever.
No,
what was it called?
It was a bigger joint.
Great
Great American Music Hall. Hall or saloon or something.
Yeah, it kind of rings a bell. Yeah.
At one time there were so many clubs in Connecticut with music.
Yeah.
And before even all the touring bands came around.
Sure.
You came up in that too, where 6 days a week there would be bands and clubs.
Yeah, I came right in the tail end of it. It was like there was still, you could still kind of do it. Yeah, so some of those places I probably caught the tail end of.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Like I got my start with Tom Stankus. Do you remember him?
Oh, sure.
That was my first band.
T-Bone Stankus.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, he was the first guy. Vic hooked me up with him.
Existential Blues.
Yeah. And I started playing with T-Bone. I was still in high school, and I had to meet him at Vic was like, "You're going to go do this gig. You're going to be fine." And it was like some kind of weird drug deal. Like my parents called him, and we found a parking lot near where I lived, and my parents drove me there with my drums, and we waited in this blue van, pulled up, and "You must be him," and loaded my drums in the van, and off we went. And that was how it started with him. So, there was still enough places to play, kind of.
Yeah.
That's how it began.
T-Bone's great. He plays a good guitar.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. T-Bone. Cool. All right. What else you want to talk about?
I don't know. You're the question guy.
The question guy.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to ask this. We asked the stupid question.
Well, I could tell you about the label.
Oh, right.
Thin Man Music. It started out,
Say that again.
Thin Man Music.
Okay.
And it was a nickname I had when I was a waiter at a steakhouse. They called me that.
Okay.
And I guess it still sticks. But, Roger and I had some tapes. We got some free.
Well, you're lucky. People used to call me thin once, too. That didn't stick.
We got some free studio time at Studio 45 in Hartford.
Okay.
And so John Tiven and Roger went in with Mickey Curry.
Oh, yeah.
Another great Connecticut
I'm
drummer.
going to try.
He's in Connecticut.
I'm going to try. He's on the list.
Yeah.
On the list.
I'll get you his number.
Okay. Thank you.
And he, they went in and they recorded a bunch of songs that eventually got sold to B.B. King, Buddy Guy, and all these different people. But Roger and I were having pizza at Modern over several pitchers of beer and a couple of pies.
Why weren't you at Sally's? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That's the whole New Haven thing.
Yeah, I know. Well, I go to them all, but
Sure.
he said, we got all these songs. What are we going to do? And I said, well, why don't we just put out a record? Make a name for a band, call it a band,
Right.
put a record out.
Right.
And so we did that.
When was this?
2000 maybe it was 1998. I think.
So even before your show.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And so we put out that record, and this he even had a song on it that Hilton Valentine, who was your Wallingford neighbor there.
Yep.
He came and played a couple of tracks, and we put that record out, and then other people started saying, well, can we be on your label? We said, well, yeah, but there's no budget.
There's no label. Yeah.
But now there's about 18 or 19 different releases.
Wow.
And people come and they say, we know there's no budget, but we'll put our own stuff out, but we want to use the logo.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's because, like, again,
it has some sort of cred or something.
Well, we all kind of hang and support each other. We try to do our best. We can't always make each other's gigs every time.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're playing out, you always share the event and you do what you can to make sure that those people are feeling.
And you use whatever studio?
Whatever they use. Yeah, some record in their homes.
I got you.
Some record with Michael.
I got you.
In Middletown, and they've been in with Vic.
Yep.
Bonehead Studios in Cheshire. I mean, all over the place, wherever they decide to work.
Yeah.
And
so it's like almost like an imprint.
Yes.
What you have.
Yes.
Wow.
And Tracy Walton recorded the latest release. I brought you a copy. Bob Tweedy and Tracy Walton recorded that up at his place.
Oh, see again.
And it says everybody's connected. Connecticut's not giant, and eventually you say, oh, you know this guy. Well, yeah, I know that guy. And you might know him in a whole different context.
Yeah,
because
right.
Before I knew you, I knew James and I knew Johnny Java. And then I'd go see you guys play at Cafe 9 against the wall.
Yep.
And then, and I knew the guys in 8 to the Bar. So when I'd see them, I didn't know who you were. You were the drummer.
Right. And then you said, oh, that's that guy.
Yeah. But eventually, because James would speak highly of you, and then I met you at a Mockingbird's gig, and then we became acquainted. And, so then I'd see you DJing at that steakhouse in Wallingford there.
Oh, right. Oh, wow. That's right. I even
What's
forgot.
the name of that place? It changed now, and now it's a steakhouse. It was something else before. They tried to be French.
In Wallingford?
Yeah. Jake's.
Oh, right.
Jake's.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gee whiz. Oh, yeah.
And then
Jake's.
who do you run into in there? Maybe you were in a band then, because you were playing in a band, because then who comes in? Jim Oblon.
Right. Yeah, there you go.
Another incredible Connecticut talent from Meriden.
Yeah. Again, all around the world.
All around the world, with Paul Simon playing guitar and drums at one gig.
Forget about
come on.
Yeah,
that's about it. And a lot of people in Connecticut say, who's that guy that's doing that?
Yeah, no, whatever. I grew up, me and Jim we're both from Wallingford. So if you're anywhere around, you know who Jim is.
Oh, yeah.
If you know,
and his father was a good drummer too,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
His father taught one of my old friends, Jimmy Roselle, who was he passed probably before you even were in the circuit. But he was an incredible drummer. He played, that guy who was the bass player, played with him when they played with the two guys, Midney and Ray Mace. Stoltz.
Dave Stoltz.
Dave Stoltz, wasn't he in here?
Yep.
Yeah. So he played in a band with Paul Midney and Ray Mace. He said the guy was playing 2 saxophones at once.
Oh, right.
And Roselle was the drummer.
Oh, I see.
He was a young protege.
Yeah, it just goes on and on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's wild.
So that's why when I saw that, I said, I saw that guy with Roselle in that band.
Yeah,
but I didn't know who he was then. But now I know him because he plays, with Mark Nomad and all these guys in these blues jams.
Yeah, get him. There's another one on the list.
He's got some good stories too. Because, Little Village and all that.
Yeah, Fountainhead. All that. Yeah. Yeah, it goes. Yeah, we're just gonna keep going. Eventually, we're gonna end up.
You could go forever because there's so many different areas to reach with Connecticut people.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely could.
Yep, for sure. All right, ready? The wacky questions. You already know what they are. You've thought about your answers forever, right?
I've had the meal tonight.
So, Desert Island Album.
Desert Island Album, that's the hardest.
I know it is.
It sounds stupid, but I think it would be Eno and Kale. Wrong Side Up. Wrong Way Up. It's
I don't know that one.
It's wonderful. And I think that if you had to while away your time, you could listen to that on loop forever.
Yeah.
because it's not intrusive, but it still has wonderful parts.
Yeah.
You should look it up.
Yeah, I would.
Kale.
That sounds interesting.
And I know what you're going to ask now.
Yeah, go ahead. Food. Pasta. If you could eat one thing every day.
That's it. And I had it tonight, and I said it. I'm having pasta because I needed something quick and easy, and I took some sauce out of the
And you're
freezer.
still thin man. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you do it?
I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know.
I don't know how you do
I keep getting skinnier, and I don't know what that's about. But
all right. Have you been to a doctor lately?
Yeah,
That's
actually,
a good thing.
yeah. I'm checking it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's, they said you're just getting skinny. So that's what it is.
Well,
yeah.
That's all right.
And I guess some people get fat and some people get skinny as they age. And I'm definitely aging in front of your very eyes.
Well,
so.
And so am I.
Yes.
The other way.
Uh-huh.
All right, cool. Yeah, I mean, I think we covered, is there anything?
We covered a lot of stuff.
Because I always end up watching these and I go, why didn't I? But
I didn't think we were going to have enough stuff to talk about me for an hour, so I think we did great.
So you're okay with that?
I'm good, yeah, I'm fine.
All right, cool. So the show.
I don't think I'll be even half embarrassed on Thursday or whenever it goes up.
Yeah, right.
Usually it's by Thursday.
Something like that, yeah.
But I didn't swear, so it could be by Thursday.
Yeah,
sure,
yeah. That's good. Yeah, you just helped yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So remind us again when the show is on.
5 to 6:30 on Thursday. It's 88.1 FM if you're lucky enough to be in our thing. And that actually goes right up, because we're by the river here, you can hear it from, all the way down to almost to Saybrook to Hartford.
Okay.
And then it goes a little bit in the other direction, but not as much. But if you don't have a radio and you're not in your car, you could listen to WESUFM.org.
Okay.
And it's live and streaming.
Wow.
Oh, it's also rebroadcast on Friday nights on cygnusradio.com.
Okay.
7 o'clock.
And then there are archives available or not?
The archives for a couple of weeks on WESU.
Right.
Cygnus, no archives.
Gotcha. All right. Well, check it out. The Homegrown.
Thank you. I'd
Homegrown show?
No,
or
just Homegrown.
Homegrown.
The Connecticut Connected Music Show.
All Connecticut music.
100%.
All. That's a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's for people that say, which I'm not one of them and you're not one of them. And I hope never to be, like, as we get older going, oh, the way things used to be. No, it's still.
No, because I play old stuff. I have a feature each week where I just reach blindly onto, there you go. Now it's not going to be till Friday. But I reach onto my shelf blindly and I pick out a CD, and often enough it's an old one. And then I play a track from that. I try to contact the people to tell them, are you still doing music?
Oh, wow.
What are you doing now?
This one.
Yeah. And some of them have been easy to find the people, and some have been incredibly hard.
Wow, that's crazy. Mm-hmm. Were you aware of Tony Richards and the K-Man Band? Did you know that one?
No.
Okay, I was in that band out in New Milford way in 80s. That's what led to 8 to the Bar. For me. That was like the in-between. You didn't know that one?
No, I didn't.
Oh, boy.
Originals or no?
Originals, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'll have to look that up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You can't get them all, I guess.
No, I know. Yeah. That was kind of a big deal around those parts. We were going to make it. Like, this was it,
Yeah, so were the Feather Merchants. I thought they were going to make it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I did too.
I thought for sure that was going to be
I did too.
A hit band,
Thank you.
And they're just, you think that about so many bands, they're going to make it,
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, well, I mean, I know what happened with that. We just, like you saw, that it doesn't matter. We just got caught right in the thing, and we couldn't quite figure out how to continue, and then we didn't. So, but yeah, but we got a handful of good records out of it.
Yeah,
so that's
I'll
all
say.
that counts. All right, cool.
Thanks for having me, man.
Oh yeah, of course. We'll do it again. As I always say, because we watch at some point I'm going to start doubling back around.
Well, you got a long list though before you start doing anybody again, because
I know
you named about 5 or 6 tonight.
I know.
That you need to have.
No, you should see my list.
I bet it's big.
It is. It's not as big as my other list, which I can't say. If I said my other list, this show wouldn't be on until Saturday. You'd have to edit out what kind of list it is. But anyway, all right. Rob DeRosa, Homegrown, a show. A radio show, all Connecticut music. You can hear it on WESU 88.1.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen for it. Thanks for coming.
Thanks
I
for having
appreciate
me.
it. Oh, anytime. All right. This is the John Peckman Podcast. I'm John Peckman. And that does it for today. Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance, Portland, Connecticut. Start coming over the bridge. Look left. We were here with Mr. Rob DeRosa. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. See you again. Wait for the hi-hats. Nobody move. Okay.
If you'd like to start your own podcast, give us a call at Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance. Our professionally designed podcast space is here for all your recording needs. Rent out our studio to do interviews with up to 4 people, to record audiobooks, social media content, and all other recorded material. Our rentals include a private studio along with our professional-grade podcasting equipment, and we can customize your output to whatever your needs are. We also have green screen capabilities, which will expand to video capability if you so wish. So check us out here at convalley.net/podcast.